Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to the Last Word Sports. I'm going to talk about the coaching hires. I know we have two more that are waiting, but I'm just talking about I can't wait. I got to talk about these guys. So we got the coaches, we got the coordinators. A lot of thoughts regarding these guys, and I'll give my thoughts. So first off, we got the Panthers with Frank Reich and Hero Evero, one of the two. I apologize. But so Frank Reich, we all know Frank Reich. I think we all know he is a good coach. Just like we knew Doug Peterson was a good coach in Philly. It was just a matter of his time was kind of up in Indianapolis. Wasn't all his fault. It was partially his fault. I mean, you got to put a little bit of blame on the head coach when things go off the rails and you get replaced by Jeff Saturday. I would say most of it is probably Irsay's fault and Ballard for giving him these veteran quarterbacks. But anyway, Frank Reich, amazing hire by the Panthers. I mean, for a team that had Matt Rule and Robbie Anderson and all these other people creating drama on that team, they had Steve Wilkes come in and kind of calm it down, which was great for that franchise. And I still think Wilkes probably deserved a shot, but I got to ask you a question. Are you winning the Super Bowl with Steve Wilkes as your head coach? Who's going to win the Super Bowl this year? Either Sirianni or Andy Reid. I'm going to be honest, though. Sirianni has kind of been carried by that roster. I don't really see Sirianni as one of those like upper echelon head coaches. So my point is, in order to really get there, you have to be one of the best. And I see Wilkes as a good coach, somebody who might be able to get him to the playoffs, but I don't see anything besides that. So I understand he probably deserves a shot. I get that. I really like Steve Wilkes, but he's not moving the needle for me. I can see Frank Reich winning a Super Bowl. I mean, he won it as an offensive coordinator with Nick Foles as his quarterback. So I still think that he has a shot to win one. With the Panthers, I think he also has a calming presence. Very good for them, like a Steve Wilkes. I think he's a really good leader of men. I think he's a great offensive mind. That's a great hire by the Panthers, like point blank. It's great. Evero is defense coordinator. Great, considering this dude was up for some head coach positions. I feel like Sean Payton wished he could have kept him, but he understands. So, yeah, Evero is not back, but he's going to the Panthers. That's a good hire by them. He's a good defense coordinator. He got the most out of that Denver defense, I believe. Even without Bradley Chubb, they were still a formidable defense. They have a lot of players, they do, but a lot of times there's players I never heard of at different positions that are still getting it done. So, pass rush, I mean, he got pass rush out of anyone he had. Besides Chubb, he had other guys who were still getting there. So, I think that he's a good defense coordinator, and that's a good pickup by the Panthers, especially with Brian Burns as a pass rusher. Next, we got Jim Schwartz for the Browns, defense coordinator. I like Jim Schwartz. I'm a Jim Schwartz guy. I don't know how many of you remember his time with the Lions, but he was actually pretty solid, I thought. I know he got fired. He had some up and down years, 7-9, 6-10, stuff like that. But I always liked Jim Schwartz. I liked his attitude as like just blitz and forget everything else. That I feel like that works a lot of times, unless you're going up against Brady or Mahomes. But I like this for the Browns because despite having Myles Garrett, I don't think they've gotten enough pressure on the quarterback. And I think this will really help them out. So Jim Schwartz, the Browns, really like the hire. Next, we got the Falcons with Ryan Nielsen. Gonna be honest, I don't know a lot about Ryan Nielsen. I know he was with the Saints and was a co-defensive coordinator, almost like that Matt Patricia, Joe Judge type deal. And he was assistant head coach right under Dennis Allen. But here's the thing about him. Arthur Smith has to know what he's doing hiring him, because he's probably like, I face this Saints defense twice a year and it's pretty good. So I'm gonna hire the guy who's kind of like the prodigy of Dennis Allen. So he hired him. Do I think he's the architect of that defense? No, it's Dennis Allen. Can he bring some of the Saints defensive schemes over to the Falcons? Yeah, I'm like, you have a lockdown corner in AJ Terrell. Maybe not lockdown. He's a really good corner. So it's similar to Marshawn Lattimore. And there's just a lot of good things that you can get out of that Falcons defense that might be a little similar. You know, Grady Jarrett, Cam Jordan, they're not the same, I know, position, but they're good players. So I really like that by the Falcons. I think there could have been better ones, but honestly, if you face somebody twice a year, you probably know more about them than anyone else in the league, besides their own team. Now we got the Broncos with Sean Payton. I can't believe they made this hire. If you watch my video on how to fix the Broncos, I said go get Byron Leftwich. That was before he got fired. I still think Byron Leftwich has a future in the NFL. Whatever, I know, unpopular. I think the Cowboys should have hired him. It's a topic for another time. But Broncos got Sean Payton, knocked out of the park. I mean, this would have been their dream pick, and guess what? They got it. Don't know how they did it. They used Bradley Chubb to get him. Forgot about the Bradley Chubb pick. And, so they used it to get Sean Payton. What a deal. I think he resurrects Russell Wilson's career. And like I said, Russell Wilson's not dead. There's no way you put up those kind of numbers and that kind of play over that almost like 10-year span. And then just, you're like, crap the next season. It doesn't work like that. So I think Sean Payton gets the most out of that. Great hire for the Broncos. Texans, D'Amico Ryans. I'm surprised D'Amico Ryans went this route, especially considering who was really going after him. There was a team that was really going after D'Amico Ryans that he declined. Broncos. There was reports that the Broncos really wanted to hire him and he declined, which is very surprising to me because I know they both can be viewed as dumpster fires. I see that they're both building, but I really like D'Amico Ryans. In this role, I think the Texans defense can be dangerous. I really do. I think that he can make this Texans defense really well, but he has to get some pass rushers. He doesn't have Nick Bosa on this team. He doesn't. So he's going to have to make the most out of Jalen Petrie and Derek Stingley, which I think he can. I think he's a good defense coordinator and can maximize his team. But that offense, they don't have a quarterback. They need to find a way to get Bryce Young in that building. I don't know how much it's going to take to trade up from 2, but they need to. So I really like the move to get D'Amico Ryans. I'm glad they got him. He fits in right in with them. I get that. I'm going to be honest, though. Not everyone works in every coaching cycle. There's always a head coach that you hire that you regret. And I think D'Amico Ryans might be one of those guys. I feel like he's a good defensive coordinator. Not sure if he's a good head coach. I think he can be a great leader of men. But is this just a bad situation for him? Is this one that he goes to and can never find the quarterback and he gets fired in 2 years? It could be one of the situations because not every coach that you like in a cycle works out. Let's be honest. So, but I like the move right now. We'll see how it goes. But that's my thoughts on that. Chargers, Kellen Moore is the offensive coordinator. I mean, immediately when he got fired, I was like, go to the Chargers. And that's exactly what he did. I thought for sure Chargers would come to their senses and fire Brandon Staley and hire Sean Payton. Sean Payton, he won't say it, I don't think publicly, but we all know he wanted to go there. But they got Kellen Moore, their offense coordinator. I think that's a great move for them. The only thing about Kellen Moore is he'll have a play or two, at least a game, where you're like, what in the world are we doing? The worst part about it is it comes in the most crucial moments. He'll throw it for a deep ball on a 3rd and 2 when they have the lead with like 2 minutes left and you just need to run down the clock a little bit more. He'll throw a deep ball that will be incomplete like he did against the Jacksonville Jaguars. He'll call the craziest plays with very little time left where they just need to get in field goal range for, I don't know, but he has a lot of stupid plays. And you know what? He's not going to be on a short leash because he's with Brandon Staley. I guess you could see he has a short leash because if they don't win this year, they're all going. So, but in the way when I say short leash, he won't have one is because Brandon Staley is a defensive coach and he won't be micromanaging Kellen Moore. I feel like Kellen Moore will be able to open it up as long as they get some deep threats. I did see a report today that Keenan Allen might be cut, as well as Gerald Everett. That would suck for Justin Herbert. Unless you're going to draft like Zay Flowers in the first round. That would really suck. So they need to replace Keenan Allen if they get rid of him. Get some speed on the offense to help out Kellen Moore. Because he can't go from a place with no wide receivers to a place with no wide receivers. CeeDee Lamb's good, but when your best receiver is a slot receiver, you're in trouble. Next, we got the Rams, Mike LaFleur. I mean, he's a yes man to Sean McVay. What else do we need to say? Dolphins, Vic Fangio. Cannot believe the Dolphins pulled this off. This was like completely what the heck? Vic Fangio back with Bradley Chubb. I think there's going to be some good stuff coming. So I like that move. I mean, they must have paid him a ton. So yeah, good move for Vic Fangio and the Dolphins. Good one. One of the best defense coordinators in the league. Patriots, Bill O'Brien. To me, this one is it's an experiment. We know Bill O'Brien has been in the league before. He's coached, but it's been a bit. It's been a couple years. He's been at Alabama, where he's had the best athletes almost except for like Georgia. But he's not going to have that. He is now on the Patriots, who have Mac Jones and Ramondre Stevenson. There's not a lot there. I mean, they got Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, but when were they healthy at the same time? And Jonnu Smith has no roles in this offense. That was a waste of money. They need receivers. They need offensive line to get better. They don't need huge upgrades at offensive line. They could upgrade it, but it's not as bad as the receivers. They need to get to that first. This hire, though, I'm kind of like he's a Bill Belichick guy. He'll be fine. Whatever, I guess. Is it out of the park like a Kellen Moore would be, in my opinion? No, but it's okay. Saints, Joe Woods. He's okay. I mean, he's a yes man to Dennis Allen. So, yep. Jets, Nate Hackett. This one is a little interesting. Everyone hates it, and I get it. As a Jaguars fan, I saw Nate Hackett orchestrate an offense with Blake Bortles at the helm and go to the AFC Championship game. How did he do this? He ran the ball, and he had easy plays for his quarterback. And that is exactly what Zach Wilson needs. Granted, the Jets don't want Zach Wilson to start next year. We all know that. They want Aaron Rodgers, and they're hoping this gets them Aaron Rodgers. Will it? I don't think so, because I think you got mini Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson if you can develop enough. Anyway, I already talked about that. Nate Hackett, he can make an offense where you run the ball and you give it to your speedy wideouts on drag routes and stuff like that. And he can make the life easier for the quarterback if he has a good enough offensive line, which he did not in Denver. He doesn't really have it in New York either, so this might be a struggle. I think he lasts the year, though. I don't think he'll get fired mid-year. But yeah, that's Nate Hackett. It's an okay hire. I think that's like a C plus, maybe a C. It's if I know what Saleh's trying to do, they're trying to do one of two things. They're trying to get Aaron Rodgers, or they're just like, can you just make an offense where we can run the ball and leave it to our defense? And that's probably what they want to do, regardless of if they get Aaron Rodgers. But Nate Hackett is actually pretty good at that. So after that, Cowboys, Schottenheimer. I dealt with Schottenheimer last year. He does not tailor his offense to his players. That is my biggest con on him. Granted, he's not calling plays. Mike McCarthy is. So I don't know how it's going to go, but it was a problem in Seattle and it was a problem in Jacksonville. We don't have the deep ball receivers, so why are we running deep routes? We don't have the offensive line to hold up for deep routes, so why are we running deep routes? In Dallas, it's kind of the same thing. So good luck with that. I don't know how it's going to go, but I think it's a stupid hire. I think it was terrible. I think you should have gone with Byron Leftwich, who kind of does the same thing, but he's younger. And I think he's learned a lot from working with Tom Brady and could really help out Dak Prescott. But yeah, with Brian Schottenheimer, I think it's a bad hire, but whatever. If you look at the numbers for the offenses that he orchestrated, they are putrid. I can't believe he still has an NFL job. Cardinals finalists. I want to talk about the Cardinals job. Their finalists came down to Brian Flores, Mike Kafka, and Lou Anarumo. So I like all three of these guys. Flores did a great job with the Dolphins. What happened with him was not good. I also don't think he treated Tua right. I'm glad McDaniels is with him. Flores is Mike Tomlin. Honestly, he's a Mike Tomlin. He's like a Nick Sirianni. He is a team coach, not a player's coach, in my opinion. Does that make sense? I don't know if that's the right way to say it, because I'd say Mike Tomlin's a good player's coach. When I say that, I mean, we know Mike Tomlin is not there teaching players how to do their technique exactly right. That's what position coaches are for, but he's not there like an Andy Reid orchestrating the offense. He's more of I'm going to keep this team focused and motivated guy. And I think that's what Brian Flores is, and that you need that in a team. For the Cardinals, maybe you want that after dealing with an orchestrative coach in, was it Kingsbury? But I don't know. I kind of want a little bit more splash, to be honest, if I'm the Cardinals with Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray would be great with Brian Flores. I think he would manage his whatever. But I really like Mike Kafka. I really do. I think what he's done with Daniel Jones is great. I think he'd be great for Kyler Murray. So that's probably my number one pick. But I also really like Lou Anarumo. What he's done the past few years with the Bengals defense has been nothing short of incredible. With like no pass rush. So I think he could be great. So honestly, either of those guys are good. But like I said about the D'Amico Ryans pick, one of these coaches isn't going to work out. At least one, maybe more. So I like all these guys, but they might fail. It might not be them, might be situation. Colts finalists. But for the Cardinals finalists, what I would do, it depends on what you want to do. If you're dedicated to keeping Kyler Murray happy, I go Flores. But if you're just kind of like, I just want to win, I want to, if it's with Kyler, great. But if Kyler is going to be a pain in the butt, we'll get rid of him. I'm going probably Kafka. Because I think there's a lot you can do with Kafka. Offensively, I think he can, if you let him develop his guy. But anyway, I'd probably go Kafka. All right. Colts finalists, we got Rich Bisaccia, Brian Callahan. Hero Evero was in that. I guess he's out now. Wink Martindale, which is weird. Raheem Morris, Jeff Saturday, and Shane Steichen. I like all these guys, just not in the coach role. Hero Evero, I don't like him as a coach. I'm sure he might be okay, but I just don't want him to be another Vance Joseph. I know I'm associating the Bronco hat with the person, but don't want him to be another Raheem Morris when he was with Tampa. Also, Raheem Morris, I don't know. I mean, the Rams defense didn't look great this year. So, Wink Martindale is one of the best defense coordinators in the league. I don't care what you say. But I don't think he's a head coach, so that's funny to me. For me, it comes down to Bisaccia, Callahan, Saturday, and Steichen. If I really want to spice things up, I'm going Steichen or Callahan. I'd probably go Steichen if I had to. I'd probably pick Steichen. If I want stability, I'm going Bisaccia, though. I really like Rich Bisaccia. I think he deserves a shot. I mean, Aaron Rodgers endorsed him, so that'd be good. But Saturday, please don't hire Saturday. So I'd go Steichen if I'm them. And so, yeah, that's what I'd go with. All right, guys. Peace out. Have a good one.